All right, sex, lies, and violence. They were the questions that the Jodi Arias jury wanted to ask, but the judge didn't allow. 400 of them now unsealed, including questions like this. Quote, it was brought up earlier in the trial that you had breast enhancement done while living in the house with Daryl. Can you explain why you did this, given the financial straits you and Daryl were experiencing? All right, Jean, seriously, was this on their minds truly, or did they just want salacious details because they were curious?
Well, I know. Good question. Do you know what? I see a relevant reason for asking the question. Now, nobody else does, but here's what the defense was trying to portray Jodi as a victim of the sexuality of Travis Alexander. She was a victim in all of that, right? So if in a past relationship she had gotten breast augmentation because she wanted it, and that would show that she's not a victim, that she is someone that is an individual in regard to her sexuality. And that's what the prosecution was trying to show. But the question was not asked.
Trinity, here's another one. Let's get your input on this. Considering all the lies that you've told and admitted to, would you consider yourself to be a pathological liar? Now, why would the judge hold back on this question?
Well, I think if they're asking her if she's a pathological liar, how are they ever going to know if she's telling the truth? I mean, it seems to me to be kind of a loaded question, but I don't know that it's really proper for anybody to ask, or are you lying on the stand? That's not really a proper question that you can ask. It's up for the jury to determine what her credibility was. So I think part of it was the answer to that question was in even asking the question itself.
Chrissy, there was this question, right, from La Violette?
Yeah. They wanted to ask the domestic violence expert there. You say Travis gives no indication of being stalked, displays no fearful behavior, and continues his contact with Jodi of his own accord. How do you reconcile Jodi's claim of domestic violence if she continues her contact with Travis of her own accord? Where was her fearful behavior? That was the question. So why wouldn't, and I have to tell you, that is a question that so many people on Twitter and Facebook asked as well. Jean, why would that question not be allowed?
Tell me the question again.
They're basically asking why was Jodi not fearful of him if she was a victim of domestic violence?
Right. Exactly. It's a very important point. It really was the focal point of the case, in a sense, in the prosecution's eyes. There was another question that was not asked of the lead detective that I thought was very relevant. A question was asked, why didn't you find that rental car? Why didn't you see the gas tank capabilities?
Interesting.
All right, well, you've heard our panel's take. Now it's time for you. We're asking you to be the judge. How important was Jodi's sex life in this trial for all of you that were following it? Not relevant at all? Well, it just highlighted another aspect of her personality, very important to establish her motive. Go to facebook.com/RaisingAmericaHLN right now. Vote on the poll. We will share the results a little later in the show. All right, well, the jurors in the Jodi Arias trial wanted to know everything, and I mean everything about her. But the judge wouldn't allow some of the seedier questions that they had written down. So we asked you, how important was Jodi's sex life to the trial? Our viewer verdict is in after neck-and-neck tie all morning, by the way. You said details of Jodi's sex life were just another way to highlight her personality. Not that important, not that relevant. Here's some of your analysis. Sherry wrote in and said there was no reason for Team Perv to delve as deep into her sexual relationship. The testimony just proved that she was willing to perform any sex act to keep Travis. All right, we're going to bring Mike Galanos in here because he's in at the top of the hour, and we got him up live, and we love getting you in on these. When we're talking, I guess, about Team Perv, I guess the best thing to do is go to Mike Galanos since he,
Nice segue. I'll get you for that
one. You like that segue? All right,
nice
yeah, he's got an office right next to me, and he's now going to implode it. What do you think, Mike? I mean, the importance of sex in this trial.
Well, I think we heard enough, didn't we? Do we need more? Didn't we hear enough with the sex tapes?
Was there anything left?
There wasn't anything left. I mean, I think I'm still blushing when I think about it. I think we got the idea, so to hear more, I don't think it was necessary.
All right, well, Pam wrote in and said it was never relevant. I can't believe it was allowed in. They should have told us, the courts and the family, how and why she slaughtered their brother. Trudy, what do you think as a defense attorney?
I disagree. I think it was relevant on both sides. I think it was probably to have a little bit in it on the prosecution side was relevant. And I think it was relevant to give a full portrayal of what their relationship was like and what the victim was really like. I think the prosecution tried to portray him as a very innocent, you know, someone who wouldn't portray or engage in this sort of activity. Right. And I think it's to get to the truth of what was really going on. I think it was relevant. So I disagree respectfully with the vote right there. But
do we have time for one more? All right, Mona wrote in and said that was the only hold that she had on Travis, and when she knew it was slipping away, she decided to kill him. It is relevant in establishing her motive.